Hey guys, Sam here at NA Studios. Today I'm going to be looking at mastering with Slate Digital plugins. Now this is kind of a volume 2 because we've got some new plugins now. We've got Fresh Air and we've got a couple of other things. I'm going to look at how I can implement them into my workflow here. So as always, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like, check out what we've got coming up next. Alright, so rather appropriately, I've chosen the track here from Alice Cat, and this one is called Fresh Air. So I'm going to be using the Fresh Air plugin. I'm going to be using a whole range of the Slate Digital stuff. Let's just dig into it. So on my master bus, I've got two plugins that aren't Slate Digital. I've got SonarWorks, which is just good for my room, and then I've got the Magic AB. So this is from Sample Magic, and it just helps me reference stuff. The track that I'm using at the moment is Times Like These, and this is Foo Fighters. It kind of fits. So let's have a listen to the track on its own then. Here it is. Cool, let's have a listen to it next to the reference track. So Foo Fighters. Man with heavy adult days country feeling young. I'm pacing my... Okay, so to my ears, the Foo Fighters track has got a fair amount more bottom end. The mid-range, the kind of high mid-range is a little bit wider. The whole thing feels a bit chunkier. We're going to be using EQ, maybe look at some saturation, compression, and then that all-important Fresh Air. All right, so first of all then, let's get my EQ up. I'll use the Infinity EQ for this. I like the Infinity EQ. It's kind of a blank canvas one. It doesn't really impart much tone, and then the mid-side stuff is really handy, as we can look at in just a moment. So let's just put a low cut on. Because we're going to be adding a load of bottom end, I'm just going to make sure I'm not adding in too much of the unheard low stuff, you know, below 20 hertz. And let's add some bottom end. Like the sky when I was 17. Okay. Without. I can see there's that one note which is getting turned up quite a lot. I'm just going to make that a little bit broader and see if I can turn it down a bit. Here on that songs, all these songs, a bit of an S there. As I'm going to be increasing the top end, I'm maybe going to need to de-S that as well. Yeah, maybe have a look at that in a minute. Wow, there's loads of bottom end in that. Okay, let's go to, where is it? Virtual Mix Rack. I'm going to have a look at Earth. I think this is a great mastering plugin. Everything go away. Let's have a look at Earth. Where do I want to put it? Yeah, I'm just going to have it there for now. No, let's pop it before the EQ. I like to separate plugins with a space. I just like to. I keep telling myself it's so that I can put another plugin in between them. But if I were to do that, I would then need to create a space in between just to satisfy myself. Don't know why. So let's look at adding some of that real earthy stuff then, the real low lows. That's the Foo Fighters track. Damn, there it is. Found it. Without it. Yeah, okay, so I think I'm going to have to go back to this and then take some of that down as well, because I'm adding crazy amounts there anyway. So now without any of the plugins. It's definitely fattening up. We're adding quite a lot of level there as well though, so I think what I'm going to do before I get too far is just add a gain plugin and take off 3 dB. Let's do that. Right. I heard quite a lot of extra high mids on the Foo Fighters track. Only in the sides though. I don't know if it's high mids. It was maybe like 3K, 2K kind of area. Let's have a listen to it. What have I bought that before? Yeah. absolutely, definitely. So I'm going to bring up some of those high mids, but with this Infinity EQ, really helpfully, we can click this button and go to just stereo. There's this one where you can add it into the stereo but take it out of the middle, or vice versa. I've never really found a use for that. I'm sure it is good for some stuff, but I don't know what it is. So here we go. Let's have a listen to it just in the sides. I mean, you can also just solo that band.
So I packed my bags and I tried to cheer up. So many ghosts that had to give somehow their transparency was way.
So really broad boost, but it's only the stuff that's in the sides anyway. So if I'm just listening to the stuff that's in the sides, there's not a massive amount there. There's overheads and there's a little bit of guitar. So although I'm doing a massive boost of like 5.5 dB, relative to the overall level of everything else, it's not an enormous amount. One thing that I do want to get across here is that just because the Foo Fighters track has got some of that kind of mids, high mids in it, in the left and right, it doesn't mean that I'm automatically going to be adding that. It's just that I know that Foo Fighters track is kind of well balanced. And on reflection, listening to a well-balanced track and then listening to this Fresh Air track, I can kind of tell that I need a bit more presence in the left and right-hand side, but not in the centre. So let's play it again.
My favourite thing about you is the sound. But when you open your mouth,
Yeah, let's listen to it without those plugins.
all I hear is white noise.
Yeah, okay, we fattened it up quite a lot there. I like it. I'm a big fan of Slate's, where are you? The FGX. I'm sure FGX 2 will be coming out before too long. I like the compressor on it. I think it's really good. I'm going to go slow. No, actually, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get some of his mastering compression because I think some of his sounds are quite cool on this. And it's doing nothing to that. Let's go. Where am I? Mastering compressor. Oh no, let's just do what we want. Okay, so ratio of 1.5-ish to 1, fastest release, slowest attack. Let's bring the threshold down.
My favourite thing about you is the sound of your voice. But when you open your mouth, all I hear is white noise.
Okay, I'm taking down quite a lot of level there.
Maybe I'll stay this way forever if I don't try.
Yeah, I'm just tucking that kick in a little bit. Have a listen to the kick before. It's got quite a lot of bottom end, which is just blobbing up. But then with the compressor on, it's kind of bringing that down a bit.
Maybe I'll stay this way forever if I don't.
As well as kind of gelling everything together. I like it. Now with Virtual Mix Rack, I'm terrible for this. I love the saturation stuff, and I like New York. I just think it's a great sounding plugin. Console always, never push, no, never. 100% wet, just like bring up that saturation. And Bomber as well, let's pop that in, because that's a cool sounding plugin. Now this is going to be after we've done the bottom end. No, let's do it before. Okay, let's put the saturation before, because we don't really want to saturate the bottom end, but we do maybe want to do whatever it is that Bomber does. I don't know, kind of dynamic expansion stuff.
The adult days are taking the toll on me, and I remember roaming the country,
Just adds a bit of life to it.
feeling young, wild, and free, and painting my ceiling blue like the sky when I was 17.
Bomber's such a weird plugin because you think you've got a master or a mix sounding really cool, and then you put Bomber on it and you bring it up just a little bit, then you take it off and it's like it sounds awful without it. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of one of those magic plugins. Get it, use it. It's fantastic. So without that mix rack at all,
The adult days are taking the toll
Lifeless.
on me, and I remember roaming the country, feeling young, wild, and free.
I like it. Okay, let's go for Fresh Air. Let's see what we can do. Now, Fresh Air, this is one of those plugins that a little bit goes a long way. If you're going any more than, on a master this is, if you're going any more than like 5, 10, then you're doing some pretty serious top end there. I'm probably going to just stay in single figures here because it is a master. If you're doing an overly, a vocal that was kind of dull, then you'd probably bring it up a little bit more maybe. I'm going to link the mids and the highs for now, and just bring it up a little bit, see what it sounds like. So this is Fresh Air. This is the kind of Dolby noise reduction sound, where you can add a little bit of that sizzling. Let's bring it up.
I'm painting my ceiling blue like the sky where
Even at 4, you can hear that. I'm going to turn it off and on. No, I'll use their bypass. You can just hear that top end. So I think if I let's add 5. All right, let's go crazy for a minute. Let's add like 20 and just see what it sounds like. All right, let's take the mid air down and leave that high air on. It's cool. I think it's a bit too much though. It's only really those vocals though that I think are kind of spoiling it. The rest of the mix is sort of benefiting from it, but we can't have a mid-side thing on the Fresh Air. That's annoying. Oh well, never mind. I'm going to look at de-essing those vocals just a little bit, and I quite like this de-esser, however the hell you say it. Eosis, could be, never know. Let's go for a stereo mastering, and it's just going to be the top end. Let's see how it sounds. That's a lot. Okay, let's hear it without the de-esser. It's just this section here, isn't it? Blooming deep inside. It's just smoothing it off nicely, isn't it? Without it. Let's hear it without it and then with it. Yeah, I can maybe do a little bit more. I find with a de-esser, when we're mastering, we're not doing too much. We're just taking off that kind of shrill top end. To me, that's not even it's not even really compressing it. It's not even really EQing it. It's just kind of softening it just a touch. And I think it's a fantastic plugin. So let's have a listen to our mix now without any of those plugins, and then we'll bring them back in.
so many ghosts that had to give. Somehow their transparency was weighing me down. You is the sound of your voice. You open your mouth, all I hear is white noise.
Cool. I just want to go back to that FGX for a moment because I think we can add some kind of dynamics there. Yeah, and the low punch as well. So with that compressor, we were saying how we've taken that kick down a little bit, and then we're just adding a little bit more of the punch in there, just a little bit more of the, you know, the weight, the attack of it, without it getting into that kind of blobbiness. Detail is always a strange one on this plugin. Let's turn it up a little bit and just hear how it sounds. Yeah, it can get a bit attacky sometimes, so I'm just going to leave that where it is. But let's have a listen to this with everything and then without everything. Oh, I'm clipping, naughty. Bring it down a little bit more. Actually, let's just bring it. Where are we going to bring that gain? Where is it? There you are. Damn. Yeah, we've absolutely fattened that up. So the only thing that I feel Slate Digital is really missing is a limiter. There's no limiter, like brick wall limiter in the whole package. Now there is the FG2A, which I'm going to have a look at now because it's got a limit mode on it, hasn't it? And I can feel everyone just saying to me now, Sam, why on earth are you doing that? Why put an LA2A on the whole mix? Why not? It's got a limit mode on it. Let's see what it's like. Let's see if we can stop that those peaks getting through. So it's just in this end bit, wasn't it? Wow, I'm quite impressed by that actually. So it's not even taken off a decibel, but listen to the bottom end. It's not even taking off 1 dB, but it's actually fattening the whole thing up. So I'm going to play it without it first, and then I'm going to bring it in.
You're the fresh air in my lungs, so badly disagree. Please try to see the best in me. You're the fresh air in my lungs.
I like it. I'm going to play with this high frequency flat knob. There is something that it does, isn't there? I can't remember what it is. Something to do with the bottom end, or the high frequencies probably. Can't remember. Let me know below if you can remember what that does, because I can't. Okay, that's just stopped grabbing it as much now.
So badly disagree. Please try to see the best in me. You're the fresh air in my lungs.
50%, why not?
So badly disagree. Please try to see the best in me. These songs bring me to life.
I like it. So, in Virtual Mix Rack, FG2A, who knew it was a good mastering limiter? It's not doing a massive amount. Like I said, it's just taking off like half a dB, less than 1 dB most of the time. But it's just stopping that stuff clipping. It's just stopping that stuff from poking through. That's a new one to me. I like that. That sounds cool. All right, so what have we done then? We've taken down the gain just a touch, 3 dB. That's a bit more than a touch, really, isn't it? But just to counteract the level that we're adding from the EQ. We have added quite a fair amount more bottom end and then a whacking great amount of the mids. So what's that at? 3.3 kilohertz, but it's only in the left and right, only in the sides. So relatively speaking, that's not actually that much. I mean, it is, but it's not, not in the grand scheme of things for the left and right. Bit of saturation, bit of earth, and then my favourite bomber. We've gone to the FGX. And this is just adding some compressions. Overall, pretty slow attack, fast release, or fastest release for this anyway. Low punch, which I like. Dynamic perception, which is a weird and wonderful thing. I'm going to maybe do a whole video on FGX because it's crazy. A little bit of de-essing, just taking off that off the top end. Fresh air, which is the new one, which is kind of cool. It's weird, but it's kind of cool. Just adding in some freshness, as it says, some high-end sparkle. Just adding a little bit of clarity, adding a little bit of sheen. It's a horrible word, isn't it? But we're adding a little bit of sheen to that top end. And then in the end, we've gone for the mastering limiter, which nobody has ever used, and it's the FG2A. So this is just clipping off the very top stuff, the very high stuff, and that is in limit mode with the HF knob, for the want of a better word, to 50%. So let's hear it before, and then we'll go for it after.
So warm me, and I remember roaming the country, feeling young, wild and free, and painting my ceiling blue like the sky when I was 17.
Yep, so we've added some level, we've added some bottom end and some thickness, some girth. We've added some hats in there, which the reference track had, which I kind of liked. And overall, we've made it a bit more cohesive, a bit more lively. All that stuff that I've put on in Virtual Mix Rack, this is the stuff that has made it more lively, the saturation and bomber. This is the secret weapon for mastering. It is so good, such a fantastic range of plugins for this. So there we go, a slightly updated version of mastering. I'm not using the tape machines on this one for whatever reason. I don't think I really needed it because I was adding the Earth plugin to add that bottom end, and that's a lot of what I get from the tape plugins. What do you reckon? Have we improved it? Have we made it better? Have we made it worse? Well, adding some of those extra plugins in, the Fresh Air and FG2A, that was kind of just to test them out. I don't think I really needed them, but yeah, I would use FG2A again as a mastering limiter because it's kind of cool. It does what I want it to do. It stopped it from clipping, and that's exactly what I wanted from that plugin. All right, let me know what you reckon. Drop us a comment below. How did we get on? Do we make it better? Do we make it worse? Was it cool in the first place? I don't know. Let me know what you think. As always, hit like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.